There are over 2 billion Playmobil figures being played with around the world by children. This amounts to almost 1/3 of the world's population and continues to increase. This is the reason we make sure that Playmobil's quality and safety standards are second to none. Playmobil's product is backed by more than 35 years of experience. Our development department includes 60 designers, molders, and modelers who work through a 3-year process which takes them from the initial concept through to the product launch. It all starts with an idea. Children's requests are of great importance during the initial development process. They help us to realize that our creative efforts are on the right track. Quality and safety for hazard-free play are the focus of the development work from the outset. Once the idea has been developed and are believed to be safe, following current trends in research marketability, the process then continues via a laser scan system to the computer. The new product is then designed in minute detail using a construction program. These designs form the basis for the initial prototypes, whose functions are then completed by hand using special processes. The new fire rescue assortment is still a long way from completion. It is now time for the construction specialists to prepare the product for mass production. The focus here is on the highest degree of precision and the most up-to-date robotics, with nothing being left to chance. The focus here is on the highest degree of precision and the most up-to-date robotics, with nothing being left to chance. The individual parts are processed automatically according to exact instructions, and the individual components are produced step by step. These are then joined together in elaborate molds by means of a complex process for use in later production. Once this is complete, the toy is now ready to be tested by an accredited independent testing institute. Initial discussions are held with the testing engineers regarding the intended product usage. These discussions center around normal use, and usage can extend beyond the intended purpose of the product. These discussions, along with national and international guidelines, are used to determine which test will be performed. The first thing to be tested is whether or not there are small parts which can cause choking in young children. This, of course, is the case with the majority of Playmobil products. Otherwise, the many details and functions would not be possible. The packaging, therefore, always displays the warning, small parts, not for children under 3 years. But don't worry, there is Playmobil 1-2-3, made specifically for younger children. The pieces in the 1-2-3 line are larger and have less moving parts. The next test to be performed is the drop test. Here, the fire rescue truck is dropped from a height of more than 3 feet, which is actually higher than is recommended by the safety standards. By watching this in slow motion, we are able to see what happens. Everything is okay. The few parts that have fallen off can simply be reattached. Nothing is broken. The pulling test is the next test performed. This test checks what happens when the toy is stretched with great force. This machine pulls with a constant force for several minutes, during which the computer records everything in precise detail. This is repeated several times, as is also the case with the other tests. Once this has been completed, the next test is to help test how durable the top is. We drop a 1,002.2 pound weight onto the toy to see what happens. Let's watch that in slow motion. Wow, that would definitely have hurt. But the Playmobil fire rescue truck remains intact. This is a very good sign. More testing is still needed to be done. Because of its electrical components, the fire rescue truck still needs to pass a number of additional tests before its first deployment. All electrical products must undergo these additional tests so they do not pose any threat to the user. Even the best test does not replace the parent's duty of supervision. Meanwhile, the comprehensive tests continue because the fire rescue truck has a remote control. The remote control is tested for electromagnetic compatibility, or EMC for short, so that when being played with, it doesn't accidentally open the garage door or interfere with other household appliances. Chemical compatibility plays an important role in addition to all of these checks. This involves testing the materials and the coloring agents to make sure they are saliva and perspiration proof. Many other chemical tests are done to rule out the presence of further harmful substances. The liquid material is turned into gas at a temperature of 1200 degrees to be able to identify every single substance. This is how the step-by-step process is used to produce a high-quality, safe Playmobil toy. A toy which complies with all EU guidelines and safety requirements and which bears the CE marking as well as the LGA tested seal. Once this process is completed, the item is clear for mass production. Playmobil is made of plastic, or more specifically, lots of tiny pieces of plastic known as plastic granulate. 17,000 tons of this material is processed every year. That's the equivalent of approximately 600 rail cars. Next, let's take a plane to Malta, where the factory that produces all of the Playmobil figures is located. The tested plastic granulate is fed out of giant silos via mixing and sorting stations directly into the injection molding machines. There is little to see of this constantly monitored process. The heated viscous material is pressed into the mold by the machine and pushed out once it is cooled. In slow motion, we have filmed the last phase of production, showing the manufacturing of the Playmobil heads, comprising two different sorts of plastic. Some of the parts are printed before they are assembled. Many of these steps here are carried out by robots. This fully automated process is how the famous Playmobil figures are built. These are sorted according to specifications, packed into small bags, and weighed. Only those bags with the correct weight are allowed to travel. We will find out why a little later on. Approximately 100 million figures leave the ISO 9001 certified factory on the island every year. Over 600 injection molding machines of different sizes work practically around the clock in all of the Playmobil production plants. Playmobil has a home not only in Malta, with additional factories in Spain and the Czech Republic. The Playmobil location in Germany is the primary facility. The spatial proximity of the development and production sites in Europe is a major advantage for the ongoing process optimization. This enables a flexible reaction to changing market conditions and the rapid integration of safety and quality details. The main production center is located in Dietenhofen in Franconia, in the metropolitan region of Nuremberg, where we will now take a closer look. First, let's visit the laboratory. Random tests of the plastic supplies are carried out constantly, with the granulate being melted and the MFI flow index checked. Small test sticks are placed in a measuring apparatus and hit with a pendulum weight to measure the resilience of the material. This ensures that Playmobil delivers the products they promise. In the technical department, we meet the specialists who prepare the complex tooling for the serial production process. A filling study is carried out for every detail before the actual production begins, and this determines the exact quantity of material for the individual parts. Today, up to 4 different components and/or colors are injected in a single process. Even moving elements are possible. These precise settings are of such importance because they enable constant checks to be carried out during the production process. If the weight matches exactly, then the parts match the specifications. A computer-controlled storage system ensures that all of the masterpieces belonging to the many Playmobil themes are available at all times, and there are detailed lists for all of the products, against which all of the components can be checked. Once the 0 series is approved, following countless tests, it is archived as a specification sample. All goods from external suppliers arrive at the receiving control area, where the specifications are checked for quality, completeness, accuracy, and function, according to an exact random sample plan. The force applied does sometimes exceed the limits for one or more of the parts. as an axle, for instance, has to be able to withstand at least 90 newtons or more than 20 pounds of force. In this case, it withstands up to 387 newtons or 87 pounds of force. And there is a further endurance test involved in the bending test. The legs on this figure only gave way after 427 newtons or over 95 pounds of force. Let's continue to the next section. The parts are collected in a shaker. The requisite quantity is then counted by a photo sensor. A camera makes a brief quality check, then the pieces fall one by one into a plastic tube, which will be sealed to form small bags. Onto the scales again. If the weight is correct, then everything is in order. If not, the bag is automatically removed and checked again later. A look into the production areas again reveals countless injection molding machines. The larger the Playmobil pieces, the larger the molds and the machines. Let's take a closer look here. To the left is the injection mold, and to the right, the injection unit. The raw material, the plastic granulate, is mixed together with color pigments and placed in a heated plasticizing cylinder. Heating elements melt the material while a reciprocating screw compresses it. The injection unit docks onto the mold once the required amount is ready. A nozzle injects the viscous melted material into the negative body mold and fills all of the empty spaces. It is cooled immediately and the plastic hardens once again. The mold opens and pushes out a component for the new fire rescue truck, which is carried further by a robot. This complex process is monitored constantly by a computer. Outlet channels and surplus joins are automatically removed right away. But they are not waste, they are valuable raw materials. Both the remnants and the pieces produced when setting a machine, or those with faults, are ground down to granulate again and used for the next production run. Back to the production process. Larger items in particular are pressed in a single process using a robot. Up to 12 different pressings are possible at once. You can think of it as an inverse stamp. The printing paint is in a deeper negative mold, however, and is applied to the exact position on the toy using a pad. For environmental protection reasons, the tooling is cleaned using the most modern nanotechnology without any solvent at all. And the different components are permanently stuck together by means of ultrasonic welding without any adhesives. Another check is carried out to ensure that it doesn't just look good. The pressure reading shows that the injection pump joints are sound. Further laboratory tests are also constantly being carried out parallel to the production process. This unit, for example, simulates the life cycle of a product. A stay of around 8 days in here corresponds to a whole summer outdoors. The colors may change slightly over time, but the Playmobil toy should not become brittle or fragile. Therefore, its properties are also tested at a variety of temperatures in the climatic exposure cabinet. Last but not least, everything is then packaged. First of all, blue cardboard is folded by a machine, and we are already able to recognize the trademark Playmobil boxes. The contents are defined by a barcode. All of the parts and prefabricated pouches are then inserted according to the specifications. The package is weighed by a set of error-proof scales, and anything that is not right is sent for rechecking. The error is eliminated, the weight checked again, and the package goes on to be sealed, which is also done fully automatically. A laser prints the individual product data, and another quality Playmobil toy is ready for delivery. Beforehand, however, it goes into the main high-rack warehouse, where the goods are assembled to be transported to the shops. The new Playmobil fire rescue truck is now ready to be taken home for hours of play. If something is missing or broken, Playmobil's customer service department is always interested to hear about it, as this enables the continual improvement of Playmobil toys in cooperation with the customers. If something is lost, then customer service again is more than willing to help. Most items can be reordered and will be delivered quickly and reliably. After all, Playmobil only wants satisfied children. The success of the Playmobil brand stands for enduring playtime fun with products of the highest quality and safety. This is what committed entrepreneur Horst Brandstatter, together with the staff of approximately 3,000 employees, stands for. With Playmobil, children are able to reenact their experiences, create new games in their imagination, and thus come to understand the world through playtime fun.